Welcome to The Life of Hair. My name's James Atkinson. Thank you for joining me in this week's episode. Now, this week's episode is a look at a fantastic video that I found on Instagram by a hairdresser from Ireland called Conor JMD. Now, here's his channel. Go and check it out. It is a fantastic Instagram channel. He's got loads of fantastic things on there and he's an amazing hair colorist. So please go and check him out, learn from him. He's got some great things to share with you all. In this episode, we're going to talk about the differences between professional colour and box dye. Now, this video has probably come a bit late because we're at the end of a second lockdown here in the UK, and probably a lot of people have taken to the box dye by now. But so be it. That's life, isn't it? What can you do? Now, if you're in a pinch and you've got grey roots and you need to box dye your hair, well, there's nothing I can say about that. But there are some consequences, and I think we do need to understand those consequences. And Conor demonstrates those consequences perfectly today in this video. Big thank you, as always, to everybody who does all of the things that I've just mentioned, and a massive thank you to my Patreons for their continued support and Patreon sessions running every other Monday. So if you want to be part of that, link down in the description. I'd love to see you there. Let's get on with Conor's video. A fantastic video, by the way, Conor, if you're watching this. 10 out of 10. Absolutely love, love, love what you've done here. So, he's got himself a box dye, level 4. Doesn't say what brand it is. It's just, generic box dye. He's got himself a Diane pivot point mannequin head, which he says right there. And then he's going to use L'Oreal level 4 Majorelle as a direct comparison. And he's mentioning in the video that the front of the box isn't really a true representation of a level 4 in a professional shade chart. And that if you're expecting level 4 results, looking at that picture on the front, it's very, very unlikely that that's what you're going to get. So I'm totally with him on that one. Guys, it's all manufacturers trying to sell you things. Just be sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into if you're going to use box dye on your hair, because as we'll probably see later in the video, there's some long-term consequences. So Conor does a fantastic thing, puts a little cross on her cheek. That is to depict the box dye side, so we know exactly what he's doing. Now, he's been very, very fair in the sense that he's put on the professional colour first, which means it's going to process for longer, and therefore you're going to see the results as a fair, transparent way of looking at them. The reason that is because obviously the second you apply a colour, it's got a development time. Conor, if he'd have put on the box dye side first, people might be able to say, well, it's been on longer. So it's actually been on less time, unless he rinsed them off independently of one another, which he doesn't mention in the video, unless he processed one and waited to take the right side off and then the left side, or vice versa, whichever side you depict, depending on how you're looking at it. From the way we're looking at it, he put the right side on first. I'm not sure if he did that or not. I'm not sure if he negated the time by taking that side off early. He didn't mention it. So here are the results, and I think it's very clear to see that the professional colour looks way better. It's richer, it's shinier, and the box dye is just undersaturated and just doesn't look that great. But here's the really surprising part for me. I was genuinely surprised by this. So he puts 2 foils in the front and then he processes it. He doesn't say how long for. I'm assuming for manufacturer's recommended development time. He then rinses it all off, then dries it off, and then reapplies the lightener again, second time. So you can see a stark difference between the two already. Already the professional colour has lifted 1 whole shade lighter. Gone in for a second round of bleaching to see how much further he can take it. Now remember, this is only 1 application of box dye, and if you're applying box dye to your hair over and over and over again, this is only going to get worse. So this is the 3rd application, and you can see there's a definite difference. There is still a lot of orangey tones stuck in the box dye side, whereas with the professional hair colour, we're now starting to see pale yellow tones coming through. And then he goes ahead and does it for a 3rd time, and you can see at this point, it is looking pretty charred. That box dye side is cream crackered. So it then goes in with this toner. I know it's Redken Shades EQ because it comes up on the screen in a minute. It's 10p, 9v and 9na. Extremely processed for full development time. And here is the finished result. A resounding win for professional hair colour in this specific instance of lightening the hair, having darkened it using home hair colour. I definitely think that this depicts it better than I've ever seen, and that's why I wanted to share with you guys what Connor had discovered with his experiment. Well done, Connor. Brilliant job. Now, is there anything wrong with box dye? No. Should you box dye your hair? If you need to, if that's all you can afford, if that's all you can do, then yes. Do not let this make you feel bad. It's not about making people feel bad. It's just about people understanding where they're taking themselves if they start to do these things to their own hair at home. It's really important that if there's a consequence, we know what that consequence is, and this proves it, that there is a difference between box dye and professional dye, especially if you want to lighten your hair. Now, where is box dye okay? Like I said, if you can't afford to have it professionally coloured, if you can't be bothered to have it professionally coloured, if you don't want to leave your house because of coronavirus, because you're going to keep it dark forever and ever, amen, and lifting it to you is never going to be an issue. That's when you might want to use box dye. I know there's a lot of professional hair colourists out there, but like, no, James, don't say that. Guys, not every client who watches this video is your client, is ever going to be a client of a hair salon. We are crazy if we think we can do them all. We are crazy if we think we have to get every client in the world, every person in the world in our chair. It's just not feasible. The maths, kind of tell us that we can only do so much in a week. We've got 7 appointments in a day, 8 appointments in a day. We're here 5 days a week. There's 35 clients. The maths goes on and on. I know we did a little bit of maths last week. It was a really simplified look at how you could achieve your earning potential. I want to take that a little step further very, very soon in another episode. I am seriously considering doing a class around that. I know that some people were like, yeah, great, love that. About half a dozen, maybe a few more now, 10. I've said they're up for that, so I think that class will go ahead. I know there's a lot of variables. Lots of people have mentioned the variables, but I tried to keep it as simplistic as humanly possible in that episode. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that right now. Guys, that was a fantastic video by Connor. Thank you, Connor. Again, you have smashed it. Do go and check his channel out. What a winner. Connor, you're a superstar. Enjoy your week, guys, and I'll see you again on Sunday for another episode of The Life of Hair.